Alrighty, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Diego207 with you guys, coming at you tonight with another round of Kaldvann. We're here just attempting to make some sense of the reality and, well, get this area figured out. Did kind of extend some of the roads out just on my own terms and kind of figure out exactly what I wanted to do. And as you can kind of see from here, I'm going crazy. Going very crazy. I'm attempting to make hand-laid or hand-drawn roads, custom roads and stuff like that off of the highway to kind of better create just what already exists. You know, because the problem that I'm having with the yarn system is that the merge lanes are just too sharp. There's nothing that really exists for what I want that comes to this area, unless I want to have an entire third lane just end and have two lanes continue on and then pick back up again once the lane merges in, which would be kind of nice in theory for traffic management, but it'd also be horrific because you'd be driving along in the right lane and all of a sudden your lane just ends. Like, your lane just ends. It's now an off-ramp, and you gotta merge into two lanes, so you have all the traffic that's just flowing down the highway, merging into two lanes that maybe doesn't want to exit to carry on, have traffic merging in, and you know, you figure it out. I know it works elsewhere, but I don't like the idea that, especially passing through a large area such as kind of downtown Trondheim, I mean, at least on the backside, but this is a pretty important area. You have the ballpark, you have the arena, you got a lot of the larger buildings and stuff like that, and on top of that you have the smaller arena here over in Marienburg. You do have the access to the government district and really downtown, all from this one off-ramp. This one off-ramp is fairly important in the grand scheme of things, so it's very important that we think about traffic management coming through here. There'll be other off-ramps before it that are equally as important, but this one off-ramp that we at least have established right now is serving a pretty large importance as it dumps traffic essentially into downtown. But in light of that, so I did decide I was going to go ahead and just hand lay the highway out. Excuse me. Create my own kind of custom setup with keeping the yarn highway beneath it as kind of a base to follow along to, at least also just help me measure, you know, lines and stuff like that. So it will take a while. I'll probably work on some of that more tonight as we kind of drag out these roads. I kind of would like to start placing some buildings and kind of getting this area like figured out, like what exactly is going on up here, because we have to figure out exactly how we're going from what currently is here, which is taller high-rises, to quickly kind of shrink it and then transition beyond the highway to more of a high to medium density suburb area. Now previously, excuse me, sorry, it's been a long day. I've been up since 7 in the morning. Previously in the old Kaldvann, Marienburg exists here. You go over the trench for the tracks, which would have paralleled along here, or something along those lines. I think it would have come more here. This building, I think, would have been on the other side. But point being is the shopping mall area would have existed just beyond here. I'd like to place something like that back in. I just don't think I want the exact scale of what we had. I'd definitely like a commerce center of some kind over here, but I'm not exactly sure how I want to approach that or what exactly I want to hear. But I definitely want a commerce center of some kind, kind of situated in that area. Excuse me. Again, sorry, but since 7 I had to work very early today. The on-ramps for this particular group of exit, or this grouping of the exit, are situated over here, and kind of my thinking behind what's going to be happening here is that, looking at how some areas in Portland are, and how it's set up and such with the on and off ramps, I want these two on ramps to kind of be at the end of this main kind of avenue, or at this bigger avenue more or less. And what I'm thinking is this large avenue kind of carries on, in a sense. Traffic coming toward it more than likely is going to be coming from the government district and the main avenue that passes through downtown. They're following along it. Once you get past this intersection here, I mean, your two options are to either bear left or keep right. Traffic coming from Marienburg can only bear right, and then if they want to continue left, they got to go around, or they just take a left and then they come down this avenue here to re-intersect. So it kind of disperses traffic in some sense. But the point being is that there would be a fair bit of traffic flowing this way, coming off of this avenue as well, coming from the arena area, and flowing across the way toward the on-ramps. So I figured I'd put both the on-ramps for northbound and southbound on this side. So I have to take the southbound ramp and bridge it under the highway, and then once it pops out this side, bring it up. And I'd like to have it merge in before this bridge here. So it's going to be kind of a tight fit. We could probably even just have it go past and then come in. So there's like the extra bridge kind of beyond this bridge. And the ramp was kind of an afterthought, more or less. It could be that, but kind of my thoughts on what I want to do over here. Sorry. Having a bit of a beverage this evening as well. Having a Downy cider. But, I think I'm starting to like the idea of this area and how it's starting to take shape. And I don't even have any buildings down, but I think as I was mentioning, I think it was just off stream last night, I was just kind of farting around here for like an hour or two before I went to bed, because it was literally come home, eat, get on the computer for like an hour, and then go to bed. So, but I think kind of laying out this area and seeing how, like, the roads are flowing along, like, I think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting approach that I have yet to take before. I've never done this. I've never just laid roads and then said, okay, I'll deal with the buildings after. Before, I'm usually laying the buildings down and then just kind of going from there. Like, I've never taken this approach to route building, and I think it's an interesting take, to lay out the road and be like, okay, what would I do in City Skylines? A completely and totally different game. Well, in order to build the buildings, you gotta place the roads. So let's place the roads. So let's place the roads. Let's get this figured out. Let's see what we can do, and then we'll go from there. So that's kind of what I'm thinking with this is, taking a little bit of a different approach to how I normally go about building, especially in Trondheim, or in Kaldvann, for that matter. And so I'm taking this, approach, and I'm just trying to see, like, is it any quicker? In my eyes already, no, it's really not any quicker. But it does start opening up ideas to a larger space, I feel like I'm tackling a bit more than just if I was just sitting there plopping down buildings trying to find what looks best over here, what design do I want, and I think this method, like I said, it's not quick by any stretch of the imagination, but it's given me something else to do, and then I can kind of plot out the roads going, okay, so this is going to go this way, so I'd like, this kind of general idea here, You know, I'd like to start kind of filling in this over there, blah, 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 blah. You know, even last night before I went to bed, I was planning, like, how I wanted this tram line. Do I want it to branch off and maybe, like, go up this middle of this avenue here? Do I want it to come behind, like, the parking garages and this way? This parking garage is a little skewed out back. You know, that's the metro line passes between it. And then it kind of passes through the middle of this intersection. You know, what exactly do I want to happen out here? So it kind of started to open up, like, an endless realm of possibilities for, like, something I could do. You know, I also have to keep in mind, like, I need an exit somewhere back here that's going to lead on a larger avenue directly to this bridge. Howdy, Size 9, welcome. Glad you're here. So, like, I need to, like, extend this highway out and kind of start curving this way and kind of bringing it down some as we kind of head into this little bit of a pit, more or less. Kind of rides in, like, I wouldn't call it the floodplains, but, like, the lowlands. What were more or less floodplains at one point, but now we're just kind of flatlands. Kind of like a weird, like, low volcanic plain that never really amounted to a whole lot. So and I'll bring some more terrain out to it. Like, there are going to be more geographical features, and that's something I do want to incorporate a little more of in Trondheim, which is something I was doing, I think it was over in Nyhavna. Or Nyhavna. Previously, like, the, like, Portland Old Port design that I was doing, which, that's one thing I'm mad about. Is, like, I loved that area. I was really in love with how it was coming, enjoying the street running a lot, and it was turning out really nice, and, like, how the buildings were going up the side of the hill, in the courthouse, and the parking lot by the courthouse. Like, I put a lot of little effort and details into that, like, what little I had there. It was so nice. Granted, did it make a lot of sense? Probably not. Probably not. It probably didn't make a ton of sense, you know, but it was nice, and it was like the industrial heart of that area, and kind of like how we were transitioning the city from being a city to industrialisms to what lay beyond. Especially how that, like, area was split between two towns, and I forget the other town it was split between. It was Trondheim, which was Nyhavna, and then it was the other one. It was I forget what the other town. I know I have pictures. I know there's, like, video of it, so I can go back and find. But I forget what the other town was called in that region. Because, like, I still want to use all the same town names that I was using previously. It's just now I gotta figure out exactly, like, where's what, you know, and, you know, what they were called. Like, I remember a bulk of them, but there are some where I'm like, what was it called? If it wasn't written down in, like, a note somewhere, if it wasn't, like, somewhere that I worked in often, or at least, you know, like, prominently remember naming, yeah, it's the name is gone at least. But so I'll figure it out. But we at least need, like, a decent exit that comes off and heads, like, a pretty decent sized avenue out this way towards the bridge that will take people across towards Rosenborg. Now, another thing I need to do is consider raising this up, because as much as I like this lift bridge design that I have going on here, I want this road to be uninterrupted. So I need to replace this section here with the RRTX underslung truss, or something like that, or whatever, and raise this bridge up higher. So that's something we could possibly tackle tonight, which also we can maybe start pushing across the bridge and designing how things will look over here in Rosenborg. I want, like, a modest, like, downtownish area. Like I said, I don't want, like, maybe that building there would look, something of that height would look decent. A lot of, like, these low rises as you start to kind of get into Trondheim would look half decent over here in Rosenborg. It would also be kind of cool to have, like, the bridge starting to come down, like, you know, curving to the right, kind of coming over the buildings as it disperses traffic off into the region. Because this is more or less an expressway, kind of what we would label, I guess, a C road as. Now, I've said it a million times, but for those who forget, the highway designation in Kaldvann is either an A, B, or C road. There are different categories. I mean, there are different categories. A road being an A highway. It's a tolled highway and stuff like that. It's the big highways and stuff like that. Like this is the A13. I believe there's 4 or 5, and then of course you have your respective branch to them. Like there is going to be the A113, which is somewhere out here. Which I think if let's see, we'll go Kaldvann. But yes, like you have your different shields and stuff like that. Like there's a C road, there's a B road, and there's an A road. So an A highway being more of a toll highway, on and off ramps only. Generally speaking, there it is a tolled section of pavement, and so on and so forth. Higher speed limits. It's your traditional idea of a highway. A B road is kind of a mixture of the two. It's generally not tolled. There's no toll booths or toll collections along it. There are predominantly on and off ramps, but it's more of an interurban or an expressway. And then a C road is more or less a C road is more or less like a county road, more I guess you could say. I guess that's kind of the nice way to put it. It's more of a county road. So rural, 2-lane, a lot of intersections upon it. B roads predominantly don't have intersections, but there are a fair number, or more modern constructions don't have intersections. They can incorporate both, but predominantly B roads will have more smaller on and off ramps or slip lanes and stuff like that, leading on and off them to avoid traffic lights. So generally speaking, the road that's going to go across the bridge over here is not particularly a county road, but it is more of an important route to follow. C roads, like I said, they generally get categorized in as a county road, but predominantly they can be. Oh, I'm just kind of looking and seeing what I got going on here. Yeah, it's like there's the 113 out towards Book. Route 6 towards Kriegerhaven, Trondheim, so on and so forth. But point being is you know, this would be more a C road, a designated route that comes through Trondheim. And I'm not entirely sure what this C road could be, but it's one of the few C roads that, you know, it's not particularly a county road. It's not some 2-lane blacktop out in the middle of the country. It's a pretty sizable road, but I do want to change this and make it larger and make it taller, because I don't want this lift section. Like, I wanted it then, I don't want it now. When is your next flight stream? Well, that's probably a good question. I worked from 7 till about 8:30, 7 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. tonight. I had to go help someone real quick after work with a problem. Family had their keys locked in their car, so I had to drive 40 minutes after work to go attend to that. So all in all, my job functions today were performed for about 13 hours of my day. By the time I got home, sat down, ate, and got over here to the computer after a little bit of unwinding and convinced myself to stream, is about midnight. So it's a pretty long flight we got going on. I'm off Tuesday, Wednesday, so I would probably hope to do it Tuesday and or Wednesday. It's a long flight we got to accomplish, so it could take a while. But I'm hoping to get it done within the next couple days, just so we can start pushing on towards Atlanta. But anyhow, so I guess we'll go back to work over here for a bit, and then I'll push on into we'll start laying out Rosenberg, and maybe we'll just kind of redesign that bridge. So we got to pass this large avenue underneath this highway here. Alternatively, it could just push on and start leaning out towards the port. I'd like this avenue to kind of break off and then start kind of downsizing. It is one of the larger avenues that passes through town. I believe it's one of the more continuous avenues that passes through town. Starting over here, you can kind of follow its path as it kind of meanders along. A couple of large turns as it continues. I think we named it. I don't know if the street signs are still there. Oh, they aren't. That was in a newer version. Brick. And again, it's why I should have backed up, but live and learn, I guess. Um, yeah, I'd like to start downsizing this avenue as we start to push out of town. So we'll curve this. So roughly speaking, let's just take a quick measurement. It's about 80.3 feet across. There we go. Alright, so that will pass along to there. So trying to keep this just, measured out correctly and such. There's nothing more that I hate than when I come along to something that I've done and I go, oh, that's... You can kind of tell it got narrower because I wasn't paying too close attention. So I'd like to keep this large avenue kind of congruent as it passes along. So that'll be that. Probably a few more intersections, like maybe one here, and then we'll have that side road start dragging in. Although we do need to think about, we have an on-ramp there and an on-ramp here. So we really don't need, there's going to need to be an off-ramp on this side somewhere. That'll dump out probably. It might actually dump out onto this road. I'm so sorry. So yeah, it'll probably dump out onto this road here. So, or it could exit here and then kind of fill out onto the avenue. At least it kind of keep the off ramps mostly together, and it would also again be dumping traffic onto the larger road that's capable of handling that amount of traffic instead of maybe this smaller side street, because these are all side streets more or less, or two-lane roads. So yeah, I think the off-ramp is going to kind of start here, and it's just going to come down and create lanes that'll head that way. Plus that'll also allow us to loop the tram line under here. It'll give us room to not interfere with the overpass. Really want to stretch this track to stretch through here, now towards the ball fields, now towards the arena, because like it's kind of meandering. It's coming close, but nothing really truly ends up at the arena. So we'll kind of work on that in a minute, but thinking about what we're going to do here. So yeah, I think this was planning to be an intersection anyway, so we'll go ahead and continue the grid layout, as Marienburg is oh so famous for. But I can tell you, I'm fading fast, so this is probably not going to be a very long stream. I was feeling all right, and then now that we're here and kind of using brain power, my body goes, oh yeah, no man, we're out, this ain't happening. You thought wrong though. It's like, yeah, I did think wrong. I had a busy day. Got verbally assaulted by a member at work. It was a great time. Ended up solving the problem in the end, making amends. I did hang up on the guy at first after he told me to go F myself a few times. I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're not staying on the phone for this. But I made amends with the guy and ended up getting the battery installed, and it just made for a really crappy start to the day. Like, there's just no need for that. There's no need to act that way. You know, just a lot of running around, a lot of running back and forth, racing the clock, inevitably losing, but getting all the calls done. So, I was up in Brunswick today, and it was nice to be back there. I mean, we all know why Brunswick is important. We've heard the name before. Which, actually, funny enough, is that guy's house on my dem. Sorry, I'm kind of curious now. Just kind of curious. Let's see. I think it is. Kind of looking at which way I would have gone. Like, I believe that this guy's house is on my dem. Yep. And that would have carried me over to here. Yep, so this guy's house is on my dem. Interesting. Of course, that being Brunswick and such. Yeah, I mean, it's nice when the people you watch are all making content in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, so it just made for a long day, and, you know, just kind of the whole interaction I feel very, very sheepish about and very strange, but, you know, when someone's screaming at me, it's like, and I know I got my anger and stuff like that, and I know I'm very prone to say something dumb when my anger rears its ugly head. It's something that's bit me in the ass before. It's like, I chose to hang up on the guy. Just like, no, I'm not going to sit here and get yelled at and get told to go F myself when I'm in the process of trying to explain something. You know, it's like, yes, I'm not giving you exactly the results you want at first, but I need to give you something at least. You know, but don't sit there and tell me to go F myself because you didn't hear exactly what you wanted to hear. That's not how this works. You know, the guy was born in 46. It's like, you know, what's really bothering you at this age, buddy? I mean, come on. You made it this far. You're gonna let that ruin your day? I don't know, I'm only 27. I'll let anything ruin my day. Clearly, according to the laws of the world, not enough has bothered my day. So, I need a road to come here. Probably kind of curve it up and then over. Then we'll have a road branch off here. I don't want to pack all these roads together. Like, you know, I am trying to figure out how to, like, go from downtown to kind of spreading it out some. And if we need to add some more roads, we can. But I kind of want to keep it a little looser. A little loose and a little more goosey-goosey. The guy was born in 46. He was born in 1946. So he's ancient. That's my brain to stop working. 1946. He's like 80 something, I think. He is. No, I was incorrect. He's 77. So he's almost 80 something. So he'll be here probably a little while longer, but. You know, and apparently what happened was last night he placed a call in kind of later to AAA. I think about like 6, 7 o'clock. And his car wasn't starting. He needed a battery. Well, the particular battery that he needs, we don't have stocked up in the back of our truck at all times. It's not a battery we sell a lot of, if at all. It's called an AGM, or an auto glass mat. Auto glass mat, if I could spit that out without my voice just dying on me. So we don't carry a lot of auto glass mats. And so the guy who came to him last night, just like, hey, listen, I'm not sure if we have this battery in stock. Kind of gave him the old rigmarole that, we give when it's close to off time. We're trying to be a little more politically correct in how we are not trying to get out of something, but definitely trying to be like, hey, we can't do this tonight, but if you call back tomorrow, we'll be able to do it. So I'm not sure if the guy was upset then. I'm not entirely sure at all when he became upset, but all I know is that he had a call last night and they didn't have a battery for him, so they deferred it to today. So he scheduled an appointment for a battery, which I think I've already aired my frustrations about scheduling appointments with AAA, because I still get dinged for the time at the time the call was. So from the time the call was posted, even though it's scheduled, it still thinks that the call has been sitting on whoever ends up with it for X amount of time. So like if the call's been in the system for, like today, 15 hours, I get dinged with a 15-hour response time. It's dumb, and I believe AAA is trying to rectify that, but yeah, I get dinged with a 15-hour response time. It doesn't take me 15 hours to get from, his place to my place, or any place for that matter in the state of Maine. And if it does, you did something wrong. I think in 15 hours you can travel all the way up north, have lunch, maybe read a book, meet a girl, get to know her family, raise them till they're old enough, watch them graduate high school, send them off to college, start having grandchildren and stuff like that, right? Watch them grow up, you die, come back in a third life, still think you'd have enough time to get around most of the state of Maine in that time frame. Roughly speaking, anyways. But, in the rough terms of speaking, it's like, yeah, so this guy, he didn't get the battery last night. It's his only car. It looks like he lives alone. So it's like he doesn't really have any other means of transportation. So, at least to my knowledge. And it's not anything that I'm going to pry about, because it's none of my concern whether this guy has other means of transportation. That's entirely up to him. That's his, that's something he wants to inform me about. That's something he can inform me about. But otherwise, I don't particularly care to know. So anyhow, so he's a little ticked off. So I get to work this morning, and I was told last night by my dispatcher to grab that battery that's needed for his car, the H6 AGM. Now, generally speaking, AAA, at least from how it was explained to me, they don't really want us driving around with extra batteries that we don't normally stock in our truck. They don't really want us driving around just with that, because, there are some batteries we don't particularly keep a lot of. Like, we might only have a handful in selection because we only sell a handful. Let's just say we sold a couple. You take the last one because you think, maybe I'm going to need this one today. Maybe I'm going to need this one. Or maybe that you're going to a call that needs that battery, so you go ahead and pick it up. You take it with you, you get to that call, turns out they don't. So then you have this battery on the back of your truck, there it is, sitting right there looking pretty. Next thing you know, somebody else goes to the shop because maybe, maybe they just so happen to need that battery. And now it's not there, so they got to call up the member and go, hey, listen, we don't have that battery, not knowing that it's actually on your truck. Just, if it's not on our list, we try not to carry it. We have a list of what we're supposed to be carrying. Carry what's on your list. If you need something, come back to the shop. So it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go deal with that, and whatever. So I forgot to grab the battery because, okay, know I'm gonna need it. Forgot to grab it. Stop at the convenience store to get some sodas before I head into Brunswick, because that's where I was based today. I go, oh crap, that's right, I need to grab that battery. Completely forgot. I got sidetracked by my dispatch calling me, telling me to go to the call in Brunswick first versus the call in Topsom where this guy lives. It's like, but I already I didn't speak with him, but I already called him saying I was on my way, I'd be here at X time. But they said, no, go to this call, whatever. Da, da, da. He didn't answer. It's like, okay. So I go to that call first. Do a battery install on a Subaru. Get a $20 tip. It's nice, having a good time, feeling good, feeling great about being up in Brunswick today. Like, it was a nice way to start my day because I was already nervous about being up there because I don't want to run into certain people. Otherwise, I'd lose my shit. So I, call this guy up again, thinking, all right, he didn't answer the first time, and he didn't answer my dispatch. Who tried to call him saying, hey, we're going to be a little late. And so he finally answers the phone. I start talking with him. Like I said, that's when he starts freaking out. And it's like, I was just sitting there. I'm like, wow, this guy's really pissed off. And I told him, like, hey, sir, like, if you want to file a complaint with our dispatch, I'd be more than happy to give you the number. But there's only so much I can do. There's only so much I can help you with at this point. I'm not the guy who came out last night. And I tried to, like, explain to him, like, I've had to wait for AAA 2 for 3 hours or so. He goes, well, I've been waiting for 24. He goes, okay, well, I mean, in the grand scheme of dick measuring contests, you do win. But this isn't a dick measuring contest. So fuck off. Like, I don't want to say I don't care, but it's like, I don't really particularly care that you've been waiting that long, sir. Like, I'm trying my best to get out to you right now, and I also know, like, I gotta tell you, I gotta go back to Portland here to get that battery, which can be a 45-minute drive down and a 45-minute drive back. So I'm already up here for the day. Like, I got 2 more calls waiting after you, or one, no, I think it was 2 more calls at that point. And so I'm kind of just sitting there, and I'm like, listen to this guy go on and on and on and on and on, and finally I'm like, sir, like I said, we're not going to do this. He's effing this and effing that and it's like, okay, listen, we're not going to do that, okay? Like, if that's how we're going to talk, like, we're not going to act, be speaking this way. And, oh yeah, really? I'm like, yep, no, that's just not how we're going to do this. Oh yeah, really? Okay. It's like, dude, listen, you just need to take just a chill. Like, of course, didn't actually say you need to take a chill, but it's just like, just calm the fuck down, dude. Like, really? You're getting that bent out of shape over this? So it's like, finally I get him just to kind of stop interrupting me. And it's like, alright, so, like, I need to come out and see you real quick. It says here you have a 2018 Chevy Equinox. Yep, okay, well, we don't particularly carry that battery on board. What I can do, at least at this point, is give you a jump start. Fuck you! And it's like, no, we're done. Hang up the phone. But they ended up, I told my dispatch that, no, that's not how this is going to play out today. I'm not going to get screamed at. I'm not going to get yelled at for just trying to do my job. I understand I don't have the answers quite yet. I'm trying to get this guy figured out, but we're not going to sit here and verbally abuse me. I asked him, like, I don't really feel comfortable going to this call. I'm very annoyed. I can't guarantee, great customer service because the tone is already set. So, not particularly feeling great. They were going to find somebody else. Inevitably, they couldn't find someone, so they had to send me. I did eventually just tell him, all right, you called him. I'm not speaking to him right now. I need to get down to Portland to get this battery. So if you could call him so I could start moving, it'd be great. Left voicemail. No one got a hold of him. Finally get down to Portland. I go, all right, I got to call this guy. Call him up. He answers for me. It's like, why is he only answering for me? Very strange. Like, a few hours have gone by at this point. Maybe like an hour. I don't really know. It just felt like an eternity, I'll tell you that. So I get him on the horn again, and I go, hey, this is Jay from AAA. Listen, I'm in Portland. What I wanted to tell you earlier was, I'll give you the jump start, blah, 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 so you can have at least a vehicle running. So in case you needed to go somewhere urgent, or you just needed to go somewhere in the time it was going to take me to come down to Portland, you had at least a running vehicle. I understand, might not be a great solution, but it's at least a solution for you. In light of that, however, I do have the battery that you need for your vehicle, so if you would like us to, I can come out and do that installation, if you, again, so wish. Yeah, no, I'd really appreciate that, I am sorry, I spoke that way, it wasn't particularly right. It's like, okay, yep, no, wasn't, but it's a new day, new leaf, we're gonna just start over, like, we're just gonna reset, we're just gonna try this call again, it is what it is, like, I have I have hard feelings, but I don't have any hard feelings, so we'll just go from there. Get out there. Decent enough guy. He's just an old man that lives by himself. I'm sure he's just annoyed because his freedom's been taken away. Or freedom of mobility has been taken away. So, it's like, yeah, I get it, dude. Like, car problems suck. No one really wants to deal with them. I get it. I got a slow leak from my right rear tire that I got to deal with on Tuesday. Oh, shit, that's right. I do have to go somewhere tomorrow. Or Tuesday. I thought I was sitting inside just doing absolutely nothing all day. I just lied to myself. That's great. I love it when I lie to myself. I'm very good at it, but anyhow. But like I said, I understand you're alone. I understand you probably don't have any other mode of transportation, but that's no way to talk to people, man. Like, that's not cool. Nope. Ouch. That was pretty uncalled for. Just escalate that straight to this. Should I have hung up on the guy? I don't know. I was very worried I was going to say something very dumb and very ignorant. Which wouldn't be terribly shocking for me to do. But it's like, I like this job. I don't really want to let, this guy egg me into something. Only for me to end up saying something dumb that I regret. And now I don't have my job that I like. It's like I have great purpose at this job. I feel like I'm doing something pretty important. At least it gives me something concrete to do. It's every day's like a puzzle. How am I going to solve this? I come to same calls over and over again, but the dynamics of the situation change constantly. So it's like it just gives me something to think about. So it's good for me. This job, albeit stressful, can be really good for me, and I appreciate that, and I don't want to lose it. So it's like, when I got this guy over here just screaming up a storm at me, it's like, really, dude? You're making me angry, and I don't want to be angry. I want to be happy and stuff like that. I don't want to be shitty and pissed off and, whatever. Like, I just want to be happy. It's something I'm not fairly often, but that's what I want to be. Alright, it's a large blank area. The tram line's going to come through here, though. So maybe have just some pedestrian footpaths that come along it. Maybe just a bus lane to come down and pick up people at, but... Like I said, the issue got resolved. The member ended up getting their battery in the end. Everyone was, I would say, fairly happy with the results. I think it's the first time I've ever truly filed a verbal complaint at someone for how they spoke to me as the AAA tech and stuff. I'm usually pretty good on like, hey, air your frustration. If you get a problem, whatever. But it's like, I'm just not here for that today. Like, I understand if you have a problem and you're genuinely frustrated, but it's like, I'm just trying, okay? I'm just trying to get up there to get you something going. Like, I just need you to at least be level-headed with me for a moment so I can discuss things with you about a game plan right now so we can at least, like I said, get you moving. But if you're going to come at me sideways, you're going to tell me to go F myself, F off, or F you and stuff like that. It's like, no, I'm good. I'm really not here for that. I get having a bad day, but, I have a bad day. I can't start screaming at people for X, Y, and Z. I can't tell people to go F themselves. Go anywhere and do that. I'm going to tell someone to F you. But I hope I don't have to do that again. Hope I don't have to hang up on a member for something like that. Like I said, I've come to a lot of challenging and unique situations, especially in terms of customer servicing, where I'm just like, okay, how do I handle this? How do I defuse this? How do I go about this in a respectable manner that, my manager wouldn't be like, hey, you could have done this, or hey, you really shouldn't have done that. It's like, okay, how do I do this? and predominantly it's usually pretty straightforward. You know, it's like agree with the member, reassure them that you're going to do everything you can to help them, that you're here for them. At the end of the day, you know, you can have your own thoughts about am I really there for them? Am I just, you know, feeding them a crock of whatever? Just so that way they'll feel good and they'll just be quiet for a moment. You know, very possible scenarios and stuff. But it's like this one just it got me right from the get-go. And like I said, I did not want to say anything dumb or ignorant or something that would really come back to haunt me or bite me in the ass. Because, you know, for the first time, I'm making decent money. I'm at least not feeling so stressed out. My money doesn't go as far as it used to. It feels like I'm kind of back, like I'm always constantly in square one. But that's just an economy thing. That's not, you know, AAA. I mean, to be fair, AAA could probably pay a little more, but it's not really the point that I'm trying to make. You know, AAA, at least from my perspective, pays pretty well. You know, just like I said, the economy sucks. Sorry, I'm just trying to monitor. Yeah, so the day, like I said, was just kind of effed. Even after we got the call situated and figured out, and like I left going, okay, like that's done and over with, like at least put that behind me now. Just like the day, so many calls backed up. My response times were just absolute dog dick, just because of, you know, having to go all the way back down to Portland, getting stuck at one guy, blah 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 blah. It's like just never went well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you're still here. Sorry, I'm just trying to see something real quick. There's like a specific road sign I'm looking for, and I'd like to get it in the game. I just need to find like what it is specifically. So just bear with me for 1 second. 1 second. Not much at this point. Like I said, I'm fading fast, so I know that it's gonna be getting to a point where definitely getting to a point where, though I want to go further, it's yeah, it's gonna be. So, like I said, I'm looking for a very specific sign. It's like kind of what I'm doing here. I just don't know the name of it. It's so there's like these dashed white lines that go down the road. And it's like technically it's a single lane road, especially the pedestrians. It's how do I explain this? Pedestrians and bicycles are allowed to use the area where the dashed white lines are. It's more or less the sidewalk. But when dealing with oncoming traffic, you basically treat it like a two-lane road, but technically speaking, if you're just by yourself, it's kind of like a one-lane road, especially if there's pedestrians and bicycles around. And like, I'm trying to find the sign, but I can't. It's kind of ticking me off. So yeah, I'll figure out exactly like what this road sign is. I might ask just Logan at this point because it's ticking me off. So actually, let me just quickly Google Street View. Like I know where the sign is. I just need to find it so I can show him, so I can take a picture of it and send it to him. And be like, tell sign what? What sign do? What sign say? Okay, the message has been sent, so I'll be able to figure out exactly what in the hell that road sign is. Because I'd like to make something similar, or basically bring that sign into Kaldvann. Because that's not going to be the last time you see something like this. I like the concept. The concept's actually really nice. Although I don't know if it particularly makes sense here, because there's sidewalks. So maybe... I guess bike lanes. makes sense here. So, but you'll be seeing that elsewhere, especially out in the country. So let me see. I need to put a gas station somewhere because that's something we don't really have any of right now. Actually, there's not a single gas station out here. Yeah, there is no gas station, so we need to find a place for a gas station, or a few. So let's just go octane, because I want to pop one down. Oh yeah, no, we are quickly approaching the end. I am... fading. Although, before I go, I just want to figure out where exactly I'm putting this gas station. Like, trying to think, like, what's a good spot for a gas station around here? Like, strategically important, in a good area, gets lots of traffic. I mean, possibly here would be a decent enough place. Ah. Edge Lane Roads, that's what it's called. Yes, I think we could probably put this here. It's probably one of the coolest reskins I did, honestly, in my opinion. Now, I kind of want to slide this over some, and then put like a tire shop of some kind over here. Let's go Firestone. Oh, yeah, we can slide this over. So what we can do is get some roof detail to hide that. So if I go AM Firestone, we'll try this. As roof detail vent, I could probably find something to cover that with, like the HVAC's really going to kind of be the only thing. A little big, but we'll make it work in some way, shape, or form. Oh yeah, no, that's not supposed to rotate like that. Nope. Yeah, it kind of fits. So I'm going to back this sign up some so it's not directly blocking the Firestone. So there you can have like a little service area. Kind of makes sense coming to this intersection for there to be something, I mean, just something. And I feel like this would be a good fit. Just with there being a lot of traffic, this would be a good service to have, gas and just a general service shop. Because again, looking around, I don't see any gas stations, and I don't know how many existed in Kaldvann or Trondheim before in the last version. But looking at the time and just thinking how much I am fading, I am going to unfortunately turn it just a little bit earlier than I wanted to, which sucks because I've only been going for about an hour and 5 minutes. So, but I do just appreciate you guys watching just for even the short time. I'm going to just go crawl into bed and just collapse at this point. I got to be up again to do this tomorrow. Like I said, I'm off Tuesday. I have a tire appointment. 3, so cause I got a slow leak in one of my tires. But anyways, I will catch up with you guys in the next one, so take it easy.